am Jason Burgos for Sherdog.com here with one of the PFL's resident highlight machines at heavyweight and the talented Alex Nicholson, who will face Frantimar Barroso at PFL 3 on June 6th in Long Island, New York. Alex, thank you so much for taking out time today and giving me a little conversation time. I'm looking forward to really talking to you today.
Hey, man, I appreciate your guys' time as well, man. It's just we all got time in our lives, man. So it should be appreciated when it's used up.
Yeah, I feel that. Now, I got a whole bunch of questions. I'll jump right into the questions. I mean, I recently asked Kelvin Tiller, there's a fellow heavyweight of the PFL, similar kind of question, because he's familiar with, a lot of people are familiar with you from the UFC, but like him, like Ray Cooper, you took another level of stardom. You were one of the guys that really blasted off. A lot of people noticed. A lot of people jumped on your story in season one and really liked you because no matter what happened, win or lose, your fights were going to be very exciting and must-see TV. Now, since season one, I mean, how has life changed for you? Is it, how has it changed financially and fame-wise? Are you in a much more stable position now financially because of the money? I've heard that a lot from a lot of PFL fighters. Are you more noticed and just going to the supermarket like, oh shit, Alex Nicholson, what's going on? And so the knee, how's life been since season one?
All of those things, man. To be quite honest, the recognition is there. Everyone who knows me, like you said, even before I was in the UFC, who got wind of my story or, where me and Mike came from and how we got down and just how we got involved in the sport, it's nice to finally get that appreciation, really, and of course the money too, man. I'm putting my life on the line. I won a fight with a broken jaw. And I got $1,000, and then I made my UFC debut. I mean, and they all gave him credit for breaking my jaw, but nobody knows I won a fight with a broken jaw, cut the wires off, went and fought Misha, and he re-broke it.
Wow.
And I still got up and gave him a high five. You know what I mean? It's nothing, bro. But it's there now, man. I go out and I put on a show, man, and everybody knows that. I'm going to bring the heat. So I think that's why people like to watch me do what I do, man. And I'm going to continue to do it. And I think from all these experiences right now, I'm smarter than I've ever been. I've been training hard. That money's kept me hungry, to be quite honest. I want to keep making it now. It's kind of addicting. Once you get a big check, you want another one.
What do you think that is that, because you're in the UFC, everybody assumes, oh, he's in the UFC is a big deal. Why do you think it is, being in the PFL has brought more attention to you because it's a small roster. There's a lot of guys that are doing good things. Do you feel like you're just getting more marketing, more push behind you, more love behind you in the PFL than you ever did when you were in the UFC?
Well, I believe that for sure. If you look at what people would say are the best days of the UFC, you can pretty much name every fighter on the roster. I was fighting so frequently. And also now on ESPN is going to be huge. I mean, I get a nasty knockout, which I've had all through my career. If I get a nasty knockout when I was an amateur fighter, it might go viral, but it takes forever. But I might have a knockout from years ago that just now goes viral, and they're like, "Oh, look at that!" And it's funny. I'm starting to see old fights of mine, like my first few pro fights. I'm like, oh shit, that's got a few 100,000, 1 million views. That's crazy. It's cool though at the same time, and it's gonna live forever. I mean, those videos will be there forever. I remember, my dad. I see pictures of my dad back when he was younger. I'm like, oh damn, my dad looks jacked. He looks good. He's such a stud. When my son grows up, he's gonna be like, oh man, yeah, my pop got down. So I think that's pretty cool, man, and I think it's only going to grow, man. I would like to see all of our organizations, the champions, and to fighting the other champions. Like, if they never agree to pay us out, if we're making that much money, why can't we make a friendly little wager? You got to give me a fat check in your UFC belt, buddy. I don't know, man. And you saying that too? When I was an amateur, I was beating the shit out of some UFC guys, man. Like, and I knew that, and I knew what I was capable of. And it came to a point where I was like, what else do I have to do? And then they finally called. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me but I love the way they're taking care of us.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way they treat us, and it's very, very professional organization, and I think it's only going to continue to grow.
Now, I wanted to next go back to the Final Five last season against Josh Copeland in the semis. And, it was a back and forth fight early. Then you hit that back fist and seemed to build momentum, and it went into hurt him. You possibly, flurry on him, possibly get him into serious trouble. Looking back on it, like, what was your thoughts in that moment? Were you feeling like you did hurt him and you want to go for the kill? Did you want to just be aggressive and kind of put him in a bad position and get an opportunity there? Looking back at it, what do you think happened that led to the the unfortunate end of that fight?
I was so focused and smooth, and nothing was going to waver my tunnel vision early that night, and I went and I looked like a world-class Muay Thai fighter against Jack May. I looked in and out, and I pieced him apart, and he's a big guy. He dropped Copeland one kick. So after I just destroyed him, I was like, man, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to kill this cuddly bear. So I got a little too cocky, and that happens in all sports and in all things in life. I think, when you're doing good, it's hard not to be like, oh, yeah, I'm doing good. So I went out there. And yeah, when I cracked him, I've hit people with that shot before. And needless to say, that man has a head like an anvil. I mean, he even proved it in the finals. I mean, he's getting beat in the head. Yeah. And they're like, all right, this is enough. This has been enough. So it's nothing, What I can say, looking back, Josh Copeland didn't beat me. I beat myself. What I did was stupid. Not so much what he did was good. I got back and just stuck and moved, hit him with the Apollo Creed, swag. I could have easily won a boring decision, but and that back fist bust his head open. Seconds after that fight, when I get up, after I looked like Jesus on the cross, I get up and I say, "Good job, Josh. That was crazy." His head, I could see his skull, and the doctor goes, "Man," he goes, "if you would have just circled, I was gonna stop that fight, man. There's no way I would let him fight like that." Wow. And then I would never want to win a fight like that, really, but when there's that much money on the line, I was on the bus like, oh, man. And Boss Rudin goes on, he's like, oh, man, some patience, man. Just I was like, thanks, man. But that also kind of made me be like, all right, whatever. I learn from it. Let me do better. And let me go get drunk and enjoy this, man. I just got So it's funny, too, though, man. Even Felipe Lins. I had him done and against the fence. And you could rewatch the fight. And I'm not just making excuses and making things up, but he holds his eye. And I go, oh, man, maybe I poked him in the eye. Step back, chill. And Mergliato's like, go. Could have just blasted him, and that was it. And then the stoppage happened so quick, and I was completely conscious. I was completely fine. So I was really upset about that. Got the sprinklers turning on here.
No problem.
A little bit. But, but nothing for nothing. It is what it is. I learned from that. It makes me stronger as a fighter and a person, and it doesn't bother me, man. I got my wits about me. I'm healthy. I'm strong. I'm young. These guys are all almost 40 years old, bro. It's going to be a long range of millions and millions of dollars, bro.
Now, I talked to Andre Harrison a couple of weeks ago, and I talked to Lance Palmer. He talked about it a little bit too, but Andre Harrison talked about he also went to the semis. He fell short too to Lance Palmer. He talked about that he underestimated the having to fight twice in one night thing, and it kind of had some effect on him against Palmer. What did you think of your experience fighting twice in one night? Did it bother you at all? Did the first fight affect you a little bit more? It's like, well, it really wasn't anything noticeable, and you handled it pretty well.
It was nothing, bro. I'm not trying to sound tough or anything. It was nothing. If anything, it got me too excited. I was too happy to be in that savage atmosphere, and if I kept that focus that I had, if I kept the same focus that I had when I fought Jack May, I would have effortlessly beaten Josh Copeland. And not making excuses. It's just honestly how I feel. I feel that it's going to be a good year this year, man, and I don't see myself making mistakes.
Did it take some time to get past the loss because of you felt you made those mistakes that you know are easily correctable, and you were so close to getting to that $1 million fight? Was it something that's like, oh God, it just so pissed and it took a while, or it was just like, I can't wait to get back in the gym, I'm ready to go for season two? It just motivated you and made you more excited for season two.
Psychologically, I instantly knew the mistakes that I made when I made them. I was a little bit upset for a while, but with my dad in the background.
What's up, Dad?
But I psychologically it was nothing. I was ready to get right back in there. In the back, it was funny. I it was a bad knockout, but I was completely fine.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't ask what happened. Usually guys are like, "Oh,
Yeah.
bro, what happened?" But I remembered. I gave him a high five. I watched the replay. I was like, "Damn, that looks bad. Good job." But I know that I could beat him. And not taking anything away from him. Wish him the best. I know he's been going through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But if we fight again, I win.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he wants to do it for fun, he can come to the gym. I just know that man would never beat me or hurt me or do that to me again because it was my mistake. It wasn't his, his right.
Yeah.
It was my mistake. Well, it was his right, but.
Yeah. Now, Greg from the PFL mentioned to me, you have been putting on more size and muscle for this season. What was like the impetus to add more mass? Look at the guns. Look at it. Bang.
Piping hot steel and sex appeal.
What?
I lost to Felipe. I lost to Josh, but I beat their asses.
Okay.
Jake Yoon, I think, was 240. I was 221. My dad and me knew I could keep the size on. Strength and conditioning, doing it properly. I've been 235, 240 before. We just took the smart approach, the proper nutrition, the right types of training, strength and conditioning, resistance, getting it right with the grappling and Muay Thai, not overtraining, and the proper, rest and recovery and the calories, to flow with them. We got a good mix, man, and been doing good. We've had a good camp, and it's been too long. I've been waiting too long. This is, I think, the longest I've ever not fought, and it's nice because I got the money. I was fighting because I had to. I was fighting to pay the bills and give my son diapers and food. And I did that. That's why when the PFL started, 5 fights in 6 months, and I'm like, well, I already did 7 fights in 9 months. So let's rock.
Now, I mean, one of the facets of your skill sets is your speed and your agility, and you mentioned the changes you did to put on the weight. Was that at all a concern? And did you knew that going into adding more muscle? You said, okay, I got to do these things. And did you seek out anybody different than you usually do just to get the right diet, the right nutrition plan, anything different to make sure you added that weight but still maintain the agility and speed that makes you unique?
Well, the hardest part of gaining the weight is keeping the cardio up when you gain the weight. But my father's, he's a master trainer, strength conditioning, and a nutritionist. He's helped Mike Perry and I with our diets all through our careers. And I used to cut to 185. A lot of people don't know Mike Perry cut to 155 a couple times. My dad got him down there, and he did it. I mean, hard work, dedication. Whenever we listen to him, we know our bodies are going to transform the way he says because we've seen it before, and it's nothing different than that. It was just actually eating the food. I have to eat a lot of food, and it's hard.
That's a bad thing.
Yeah, building up my metabolism. It's not a bad thing at all. But when you're force feeding yourself and you're still training, and you feel like literally you are throwing up sometimes because you just pounded a protein shake. It's definitely better than starving to death. I mean, don't get me wrong. You could see the photos when I cut the 185. You could tell that I'm like sick almost. I mean, and it's just it's no big deal. I'm naturally probably 225 pounds if I'm not force feeding myself, and when I am eating a lot and staying hydrated, I blow up to 240, 250 at the biggest I've ever been. But even right now, if I went and I sweat, I could get down to probably 225, man.
Wow. Do you feel like this is your optimal weight, having been at middleweight at one time? Are you feeling like maybe that was a waste of time in a way, or is it like you've gotten older, your body's filling out, now you've naturally become a heavyweight?
I think I'm naturally become a heavyweight, and I think that's what became the problem. I was young in my amateur career. Um, I was cutting from 210 when I got bigger to 85. We were doing that, and then I think it was my professional debut. I cut from 220 pounds to 185.
Whoa.
I drove up to Georgia with my father and Chopper Reed, my buddy Robert, and they took care of me. I was doing all the training with them, and the next day I was 217 pounds.
Wow.
I think I got huge again, and I just destroyed the guy in like 30 seconds.
Wow.
He looked like a midget. I ragdolled him around the ring and just kneed him in the face, and he's done. But it just became too much on my body. Like the last time I did it was when I fought Jack Hermanson, and even the night of the fight, I was kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna kick his ass. and I was huge still. Like I looked huge, but I was just dead. I mean, and I don't care. But I mean, now I could literally probably grab him with both my hands and crush the life out of him.
Yeah. I mean, you've had 20 fights in sport, but you are only 29. Like you mentioned, you're a young guy, which you turned 29 earlier in May. Happy belated birthday to you. Do you feel like you are right in the middle of you're right in the middle of your prime years? That are you just touching or just scratching the surface of your potential right now? And if true, if you are just getting to your potential, that seems like really bad news for the rest of the division. How are you feeling?
I feel like I'm just coming into my prime. I think from 30 to 40, I could go undefeated, and we're gonna try to make it 29 to 40. This is gonna be a good year. But I think mentally, physically, spiritually, in fighting and in my career, I'm at a point where I've never been. I completely know who I am in my life. I completely know who I am when I walk in that cage. It's not a facade with me. That's not a joke. This is me. I'm not Colby Covington or Conor McGregor. Actually, I don't know if Conor's a facade. He seems pretty real about it.
Decent.
But it's not a show, man. I don't sugarcoat things. And me and Mike have been like that since we were amateurs. I mean, it's not you come in and you're disrespecting us. We don't look at it like that because we never thought about it that way. I don't think some guy's trying to hype a fight. If he's saying things, I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to have to knock this guy out of the way, and he's getting too crazy. I mean, obviously now it's different because you know that, but it's not a game. This is a real sport, and you can get hurt out there if you play games, man. Shouldn't play games, bro.
I talked to a lot of fighters last year from the PFL, and they often agree. Are you happier in that way to be a part of PFL, not just only for the opportunity, the good financial pay, putting more marketing push behind you, but the fact that it's a league, the fighters are setting up the fights, everyone will play their way to the playoffs and the finals. There is no need for trash talk. Do you enjoy the element that you could just go out there and do your trash talking with your fists instead of having to do it before the fight?
I mean, there's nothing to say at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You're going to get in the cage and you're going to go at it. And we've seen crazy stuff in the media with different fighters and all this and that being said. But I think you should be able to get in there and try to kill each other and then say good job after. I mean, Mo Doris is in this tournament. He's a local guy. Fought on a lot of amateur shows with me. We've trained together multiple times. If we fight, we're going to go in there and try to take each other's heads off, especially for this money. And if we didn't, we'd be doing a disservice to each other. I mean, it's disrespectful. Take this serious, and it is nice with the PFL knowing that you could say all you want to say, but probably gonna have to fight the guy. If you're doing well and he's doing good, you're definitely going to have to. So, the truth will always set you free, like they say, right?
Yeah. Do you consider yourself the favorite in this season? I mean, you're feeling good. You're putting on the muscle. You're heading into your prime. You feel, and you made it to the semis last year, and your two losses were to the dudes that were the champion and the runner-up, who are not even in the season this year. Do you feel you are the favorite?
they did all that shit just to avoid me.
All right, all right. So do you?
I do see myself as the favorite. I mean, everybody fucking loves me. I mean, what's not to love? I mean, I'm a savage animal, but I'm a nice guy. I mean, I'm not a jerk by any means. I go out there and fight as hard as I can. I'm working hard. I'm taking care of my kid. I'm doing the best I can with my life. I mean, if they don't like me, I really don't care. I don't care if they all hate me, but I appreciate the love. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate the support. But I'm going to do my thing regardless, and I think that's part of the reason why they love me too. I mean, I don't know, man. It's definitely one or the other, but I think that the majority of the people are finally seeing where I'm coming from. I think a lot of it was misunderstanding. I think a lot of people just didn't understand me or get my sense of humor, or where I'm coming from, or where I came from, and I mean, it's me, man. I'm out here Spartan. We're gonna fuck shit up and go home.
At PFL 3, you are matched up with someone, people are probably going to look at as a possible favorite too in Francis Barbarossa. He's a well-rounded fighter who is, he lost to Copeland too in the playoffs last year. Where do you feel you may have advantages against him in this fight?
Everywhere, to be quite honest with you. I think that he's going to think that he's a much more experienced grappler. And if he gets me down there, he's going to find out that he's wrong. If he gets the pleasure checking out my new ground game, I'll be happy to show him. I've been exchanging, flows with Adolfo Rivera and Jacare Souza.
Nice.
Hey, Jacare Souza is like the Michael Jordan.
Yes, he's a bad man.
He's a lot stronger than people think too. He's a big dude. He's pretty much he's as big as me, and then he cuts down to 85. I think he could fight much bigger, and people would be surprised. He submitted to Fabricio Verdum in the grappling match.
Exactly.
And I mean, being on the mat with guys like that, I get up, I get out, I fight off some submissions. He's not better than them, and I've been working hard. My speed, my power, my accuracy, my boxing. I mean, Copeland outboxed him. He took hard shots from Copeland, but he didn't charge into him like I did. I just see it being a bad night for him, and just the way I'm feeling mentally, physically, emotionally. I am ready to get locked in the cage with another man and put it to the test. I'm ready to get into a fight. I enjoy it. I think about it as a therapeutic thing for me. It's good. It might sound kind of messed up to some people, but
no, not at all. I've heard other people say
go in there and try to beat a man like a piñata. Watch the money fly out.
Now I've heard other people talk about it. I mean, I think it was Kevin Tiller said the same thing, like, because what he went through growing up, getting in the cage is almost like catharsis. But I mean, what you're talking about perfectly transitions into the last question I have for you, which is, we talked about it. You're bigger, you're stronger, entering your prime, got a better ground game, working with guys like Jacare and stuff like that. Should fans and writers of the PFL expect an all-new Alex Nicholson on Thursday night?
Yeah, 100%. If he fights a very, very smart fight, he does this thing that I'm going to beat the shit out of him for 15 minutes. And I would never say that ever before. But at this level, we're so skilled. If you go out there with the mindset, you're one of the best fighters in the world. I don't want to get knocked out. I don't want to get submitted. I want to move, survive, and win. And I go out there and I say, I'm going to knock him out, whatever. I'm probably not going to win. Because you're not going to present that opportunity. I'm going to gas out, blowing my wad. If we're both close to the same skill level, you should probably win that fight unless I clip you going crazy. But the longer the fight carries on, the better it is for the guy that's just trying to conserve.
Do you feel like...
But that being said, I have an unlimited gas tank and angles for days. And he's going to wake up wondering what the fuck happened.
Do you feel like what you went through in season 1, we're getting so close, doing good things, having the setbacks here and there in the Copeland loss, do you feel like you grew more than anything mentally, fight IQ wise, in that season that's made you even sharper for this? Because that's what it feels like. It feels like a man who's just learned lessons and feeling confidence in the learned lessons and experience right now in this moment.
I think it all ties together, man. Every fight I've ever been in from the beginning, I've been kind of reflective and look back, and I've never done that before. Things I've been through in my life over the past, year, 6 months, have made me become a man. I look back at my life and I'm like, I've never been a grown ass man, and now I'm really am a grown ass man. Like I've been that in the sense that I've taken care of myself for a while, but I look back at that kid that was in the UFC, and I'm like, that's a kid, man. I'm a grown man now, and I would whoop that kid's ass. I would too. I mean, and I can teach him a lot about life. But I wouldn't be who I am now, man. I've been through things in my life. Everybody has. I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh, I've been through this, so I kick everybody's ass." I've been through stuff, man, and it's made me stronger. It's made me mentally unstoppable, and physically now I've had more time to recover and train properly and smart, and I'm coming up on the peak. I think 30 to 40 are your best years as an athlete, and the science kind of backs that up. I mean, it's gonna be a good decade, and hopefully it's $10 million decade. Some sponsors, somebody to retire at 40 and be the next Rock. I'm gonna be Rock. The Rock's the fucking man.
What's your favorite Rock movie?
I like the one with the casino.
Oh, Walking Tall. Walking Tall, yeah, I like that movie too.
I like Walking Tall, and the one when he goes in the jungle with that dude. It's kind of goofy.
So you like his first two movies more than his recent movies?
Yeah, I mean, I loved Fast and the Furious and stuff, but it got a little too crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, they might as well have superpowers.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous.
But to be quite honest, I saw Aladdin.
What'd you think of that? I'm scared to see it.
It's not. I mean, it's not what you remember as a child is going to be your favorite.
Yeah.
But it's a good movie. It brings back some memories, and you'll catch yourself like singing, and you're like, oh shit, is anybody looking at me? And then, but since I had my son, I haven't really been to the movies, so I haven't seen many recent Rock movies. I watched Ballers, the show.
Oh, I love that show. Love that show.
That was a great show. But just his life, man.
Yeah.
I saw him post something about tacos and tequila the other day, and I'm like, that is my type of dude.
But he likes to be crazy. He's like working out at 3 and 4 in the morning sometimes. Are you about that life too?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I've definitely done some workouts after tacos and tequila.
Nice.
I work out every day. Like, even if I go to the beach and we're day drinking or something, my friends are like, oh, Alex is over there doing fucking lunges and sit-ups. I don't know what's wrong with him. And I'm like, what's up, guys? Got my tequila swole on.
There you go.
But it's just a lifestyle, man.
Yep.
And that being said, growing up, I mean, I've cut out all that crap. I used to party right up until a fight. I'm sure not many people would proudly admit that, but I did some of my best work after bad fight camps. But that's part of being a professional. You put it all together and you learn that you can't do that crap anymore. Having the kid helps. Yep. But I think that I'm ready to go, man. I'm more mature than I've ever been. I'm in shape. I think Thursday night, the world's going to see me take a man out. He's good enough to get the takedown. You might see me strangle him.
Nice.
But, 15 minutes is a long time. A long, long time for me.